Most sports supplements don't work, or at least not the way you think. The fitness industry is worth billions, filled with powders, pills, and promises. But when you strip away the marketing hype, only a small handful of legal supplements are actually proven to improve performance. So in this video, we're breaking down what really works based on science, not trends. Here's the reality. Supplements are not magic. They don't replace training. They don't fix a bad diet. And they definitely don't turn you into a pro athlete overnight. But some of them can really be useful. When you zoom out and look at high-quality evidence, randomized trials, meta-analyses, and systematic reviews, you're left with a small core group that actually works. In this video, we take a closer look at protein supplements. As you will see, they are not a very effective means of increasing performance, but they are its necessary basis. Protein. Protein isn't a boost, it's a necessity. In a calorie deficit, it prevents muscle breakdown. While critical, its importance is often overstated. If you eat enough protein, you don't need supplements. Protein supplementation makes the most sense for athletes who have a higher training load, do not reach the recommended daily protein intake, or want to maximize recovery and muscle growth. The main mechanism is not an immediate increase in performance, but support for muscle protein synthesis, repair of damaged tissue, and faster recovery between workouts. Thanks to this, the athlete can tolerate a higher training volume and better quality adaptation, which only then indirectly translates into performance. In practice, therefore, protein functions more as a supporting agent than as a direct ergogenic stimulant. There are several large meta-analyses investigating the effect of protein supplementation on athletic performance. One of the largest is a meta-analysis of controlled trials by Morton et al. From 2018. The resistance training interventions lasted 13 weeks on average, with 2 to 5 training sessions a week. The average protein dose was 36 grams a day, and the average post-workout dose was 24 grams a day. The authors concluded that protein supplementation during prolonged resistance training significantly improved gains in strength and fat-free mass, decreased fat mass, and increased fiber cross-sectional area. On the other hand, it did not improve maximal voluntary contraction measured by a dynamometer, and did not increase total body mass. The effect is stronger in trained individuals, which the authors explain by the fact that trained individuals are closer to their genetic maximum, and therefore no longer achieve such natural improvements. Conversely, older exercisers did not achieve such gains in fat-free mass with protein supplementation, which can however be explained by the fact that they used too low supplementation doses. The meta-analysis concluded that total daily protein intake is more important than post-exercise protein dose. The exercisers in the analyzed studies initially had a total daily protein intake of approximately 1.4 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is well above the recommended protein intake for untrained individuals. Yet protein supplementation still had a positive benefit for them. The authors found that there is a certain breakpoint beyond which no further benefits are visible. This breakpoint lies around 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. However, due to individual differences, the authors recommend 2.2 grams per kilogram daily as the upper limit. A more critical look at the possible benefits of protein supplementation in both strength and endurance athletes was brought by a recent meta-analysis by Zhao et al. From 2025. The authors concluded that the effect of protein supplements on athletic performance is weak and only marginally significant, and even when statistical significance is detected, it is derived from studies with unbalanced energy intake between the intervention and control groups. Regarding endurance performance, many studies support the conclusion that in isocaloric trials, when energy intake is matched, endurance performance does not improve with pure protein or protein carbohydrate supplementation compared with control groups. Performance improvements and faster glycogen resynthesis are likely attributable to the additional energy provided by protein co-ingestion, rather than protein itself. The effect of protein supplementation on muscle strength is similarly limited and appears to be even less effective than its impact on endurance performance. Protein supplementation during resistance training results in small but significant gains in fat-free body mass and lower body strength, especially in younger or trained individuals, while having minimal effects on fat mass, hand grip strength, and muscle fiber hypertrophy. The effect is stronger when combined with sufficient training duration. The largest proportion of studies showing benefits of protein supplementation concerns whey protein, but this may also be due to the fact that it is the most studied protein. Another meta-analysis by Pearson et al. From 2022 showed that protein supplementation can have practical benefit on reducing the decline in strength that follows in the days after exercise. As for the current scientific consensus regarding total daily protein intake, it varies according to the type of sport. Sedentary adults are often told 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, but this is based on unreliable nitrogen balance tests. For athletes, better data exists. Endurance athletes need 1.2 to 1.4 grams per kilogram, but a recent meta-analysis showed that 1.85 grams per kilogram of body weight appears to be most effective. As already demonstrated in the mentioned meta-analysis, strength athletes reach optimal results with 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram split throughout the day. Higher protein intake doesn't help performance, though higher total energy intake might. After training, a dose of 0.25 to 0.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight is most often recommended, which corresponds to roughly 20 to 40 grams of protein in one serving for most people. This dose is commonly cited as sufficient to stimulate muscle protein synthesis after exertion. Older people need a dose at the upper end of this range for optimal muscle protein synthesis. Quality of proteins matters too. Many supplements use poor protein sources. A person ingests 20 amino acids from food, but 9 of them our body cannot create on its own, so they belong among the so-called indispensable or essential amino acids. It is the content of essential amino acids, together with their digestibility, that determines the quality of a protein. The current amino acid standards for growing children highlight milk, pork, and eggs. An alternative comparison, which uses average body protein composition as a standard, gives a somewhat different ranking, but still highlights these 3 common foods. In any case, the best sources do not include chicken. Promoting chicken as an optimal source of protein for athletes is a chronic mistake, probably resulting from the supposed advantage of lower fat and calorie content. In addition to the overall quality of proteins for physical development, the essential amino acid leucine plays a key role in sports nutrition. Leucine most strongly activates the so-called mTORC1 pathway, which initiates synthesis of new contractile proteins in muscles. The threshold for maximum stimulation of protein synthesis in healthy adults is approximately 2 to 3 grams of leucine, which is contained in approximately 20 to 30 grams of milk protein. Because cow's milk and dairy products are the best source of leucine and are also among the best sources of protein, they are ideal as a staple diet for athletes. Milk protein consists of casein, which is the predominant protein in cheese, and whey protein. Despite the general preference for whey proteins, which induce an anabolic reaction in the body faster, the use of casein is also effective. This is because after several hours, the effect of both types of proteins evens out. It follows that before training, it is best to use whey proteins, and after training it is suitable to take milk protein or combinations of whey and casein. Potential side effects of excessive protein supplementation include renal strain at very high intakes above 3 grams per kilogram per day in those with existing kidney issues, though it seems that it's safe for healthy people. Bloating and flatulence are common with whey concentrate due to lactose, though concentrates only have about 5% lactose, which most people can handle. In summary, protein supplementation supports muscle growth, but the effect is small and often explained by total caloric differences. So if you want to maximize your training effect, consume protein with enough calories. In this context, it is important to note that professional athletes often publicly overestimate the impact of nutrition because they try to distract attention from the real cause of their great results, the use of performance-enhancing drugs. In natural athletes, real muscle growth is slow, and many studies are too short or have too few subjects. If you train naturally, protein supplements are mainly useful if your dietary intake is insufficient and should be viewed as a complementary strategy that supports muscular adaptations. And remember that to see any benefits, you need more than 6 to 12 weeks of training. Short-term studies, shorter than 4 weeks, often underestimate the real benefit. If this video helped you, give it a like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out my other videos on this topic.